When it comes to Grand Seiko, most of the time, it's all about the dial. Welcome back to the channel for Right Time Watches here in Denver, Colorado. I'm excited about today's video because it covers a watch that's truly close to my own heart. I've got a very similar model in my own collection, but this time they've added a very intriguing and obviously beautifully detailed dial, as is customary from Grand Seiko. This watch is gorgeous and it's relatively recent to the shop, so it's definitely worth a highlight of its own. But before we dig into all of its details, we'll invite you to subscribe to our channel so you catch all of our upcoming videos. This watch has a 44mm diameter with a 50.8mm lug-to-lug. It's 14.7mm thick and powered by the amazing 9R66 spring drive GMT movement. The Divers GMT family, of which this watch is a member, is a really impressive series of watches from Grand Seiko. Like I said, I've got one of my own, the SBGE277, which has a very similar look to this one. What you get on this one that I don't have is that white lower half of the outer bezel, and of course this amazing textured dial. The factory where spring drive watches are made by Grand Seiko sits at the feet of the Hotaka Mountains, which is made of volcanic rock. The dial on this watch is made to look just like the rock in those mountains. It's a bit hard to capture on the camera, but in person it looks outstanding. The watch itself is beautiful too. I think the case shape is absolutely amazing, especially for a 44mm watch. This one is large, but it doesn't wear that way because of the shape of the case. As you take a look at the sides here, you get a very nice look at how inward they slant, so where the watch sits on your wrist is much smaller than the diameter on top. This watch, of course, has a sapphire crystal on top, but it also has a sapphire bezel insert, which gives you that three-dimensional and beautiful shiny look. Speaking of shiny, of course, we have the Zaratsu polishing on the side, and you saw that we had drilled lugs for ease of strap changes. The bracelet here is familiar from Grand Seiko. It's that classic 3-link with a polished outer on the center link, and a beautiful, sporty Grand Seiko clasp. This larger clasp from Grand Seiko does give you the added bonus of micro adjustments. The back side of the watch is a sealed stainless steel with the classic Grand Seiko lion logo. Underneath we've got the 9R66 spring drive GMT, which has a 72-hour power reserve, and of course, impeccable accuracy. I love that there's beautiful detailing even on the case back. It just goes to show how much time and attention Grand Seiko artisans really put into these watches. It's easy to think of a million reasons why you should take a watch like this home, but one of my favorites, especially on this one, is the loomed bezel insert. Because we've got that sapphire bezel, it gives you the ability to have this beautiful loom underneath, which looks so good in low light. This watch is $6,200 US, which I think is pretty good value for the money, especially when you consider that's on the lower end of the spring drive cost spectrum. If you want a beautiful Grand Seiko with a little bit more wrist presence, this is the one for you. This watch is just so gorgeous. I love the sporty case and the shape of it. I love the 24-hour dial. I love the spring drive GMT. This really is an amazing watch, and it's no wonder I bought its predecessor. If you'd like to purchase this one or any of our other watches, please visit us online at righttime.com or give us a call. We're always happy to help. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time at Right Time.